I did. I went to a Kiso, so I guess you can call that a rehab. But I didn't go for like substance abuse or anything like that. I went for depression, for burnout, suicidal thoughts. I had a suicide attempt. And yeah, that's what brought me when I had the failed suicide attempt.
Hey, what's good? What's going on? I'm back with another video, and I am Relogy the OG that also goes by him. If they don't get it twisted, you get me. And I'd like to welcome you guys into the real world where the real I realizes the real life. Listen, if you're new to the channel, man, please hit the sub button and also the notification bell so you get notified next time when I upload something new. And of course, to my realists, I would truly like to appreciate you guys for not relinquishing on your boy. Let's just jump right into today's video, man. It's super triggering, and I hope you guys will appreciate it as much as I did. So basically, since we all know and are aware that we are in the men's mental health month, so I figured let's just give this one the limelight, just to spread about awareness, because we as men are still trying till this day to kind of find a template of being emotionally expressive and not bottle things in. So it's one step at a time type of a thing, and this video actually explains incident that kind of transpired, which this radio personality has experienced in his life. Man. So I don't want to waste any time also, because I'm trying to make it very short. We are just going to we are going to jump straight right into it. Pardon me. Let me just play it.
But it comes down to that thing. We think we can save it.
Yeah.
So think of how many abusive, toxic relationships take that next step.
Did you ever go into rehab?
I did.
Okay, just a little bit of context. So this guy was married to a lady, and they've been married for 11 years. I mean, not 11 months, 11 years, 11 months. And then the lady happened to be a drug addict. Then they both sat down and agreed to sign her up for rehab, and she agreed. And then she went, and fast forward, she met somebody at the rehabilitation institution, and then wanted a divorce on the 14th of February, on the Valentine's Day, when Uncle Tab, the radio personality, was trying to call the institution to kind of ask them to release her, the wife, early, because she was about to be released on the 15th. So Uncle Tab was trying to get them to release her on the 14th, so as he could spend time with her. And then she was also having other plans to spend time with the new man that she actually found at the rehabilitation institution. So it went like that. They met on the 14th. Uncle Tab didn't know, and the lady gave him the news on that day at that spot, when he actually drove all the way from work and bought flowers and chocolate, thinking that he was going to surprise the lady of his life. And such is life. She asked for a divorce instantly, and then they had to go their separate ways. And it gets to this point.
I went to a Kiso, so I guess you can call that a rehab. But I didn't go for like substance abuse or anything like that. I went for depression, for burnout, suicidal thoughts. I had a suicide attempt. And yeah, that's what brought me, when I had the failed suicide attempt. In that moment, I realized I gotta drive myself to a rehab center.
That's how hectic it gets when you start having suicidal thoughts. And I'm saying this because I can relate to what he's saying right now, because I had such also. I remember in my upbringing, it is just a lot. So much that at times you feel like this could actually resolve everything. This could actually be the way out, and I can tell you now that I actually failed in all 3 attempts. So it makes sense, I understand. and never really got to speak about it as such because we come from like broken societies, let alone broken families, man. Societies are actually broken because every norm that we live according, they are just pre-orchestrated. So we're thinking to ourselves that okay, this is the way that we should be living, only to find that those things are not serving us anything, right? So it also got to that point once upon a time in my life. It does when it gets too heavy and you don't have a template to offload. Man, listen, every truck, every pickup truck that gets loaded with stuff, it doesn't drive around carrying all the loads throughout its existence. At some point in time, it will have to get to a location where it offloads so as it will be able to progress successfully without any weight. So with us men, we don't have that kind of a pickup truck stop where we could just offload and stuff. We was never brought up like that. So these things they lead to obviously your depression and having suicidal thoughts, you know. So it's relatable.
And I gotta check it. What happened? How did you try to do it? So what I did was after, and I think a lot of people do this. I rebounded, right? So in that fragile state after my divorce, I rebounded with someone else. Yeah. Okay. And when you rebound with someone else after a serious trauma like that, you become seriously attached. Like this has to work now. You know, like that didn't work, but now I'm in love with.
They asked me if it was Candace.
Hey?
They asked me if it was Candace you
Yes.
rebounded with. Okay.
It was. Oh, yeah. So I guess when you work with someone, that makes it harder, right? Yeah. And when that relationship came to an end, and not for any funny reason, right? Like that breakup was a very normal breakup. You know, when just two people are like, this thing's not working, and let's be friends. You know, the
It's
whole
okay.
let's be friends. Boom, boom. Yeah. But you actually end up being friends. Like, but losing that, plus I think then all the weight that had been building up from the divorce, kind of hit me. And then there was the pandemic. You're isolated. You're not allowed. You know, like lockdown. We're not making money anymore. We can't gig. We can't go out. I just felt completely hopeless. And I think when you do what we do for a living, like you do radio, right? Especially when you.
And now that I think about it, guys, right? It isn't an instant heavy load that gets loaded into your emotion or your emotional drive. It's those bits of pieces, things, incidents that actually are occurring in your life, and then if they are not dealt with, they then snowball to a point whereby they become something super big that one cannot handle anymore. It's not an instant thing, or maybe you came across something that instantly take you to a depression state. It's one of those pieces, small things that need you to deal with them and challenge them head on. But we brush them aside, not realizing that those things are actually getting stored in your emotional box. And then another thing then happens, another one, and then they pile up to become this fireball that leads to your depression, one having suicidal thoughts. So I feel like we need to find a way to actually deal with something right there and then. If it hurts, if it's excruciatingly painful, let's deal with that instantly. And then that way we would be able to avoid all these things that the stats, we don't want to be part of the stats, you guys. So we need to start dealing with things as we go. We don't have to wait. We don't, as we go. If it affects you right now, find a way to speak about it or be expressive about it, regardless of being perceived as soft or as a B word. Just let it all out, because if you let that and something else that's gonna happen subsequently, then they all going to pile up then the next thing, it's just an eruption of emotions that we do not want to be seen going through. It's just those bits and pieces of these incidents that lead to such.
Good morning radio is I got to the stage where my depression was so bad
DC.
that people will always say, "Oh, but you didn't sound depressed when you were on radio.
Yeah.
You sounded so happy." That was all the happiness I had to give in a 24-hour cycle. I saved it for those 4 hours of radio, and I just poured it. I switched off. I'm on air. But when the show would end at 9 o'clock and I'd go home, I was depressed. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't go to gigs. So it got to the point where I actually attempted suicide. Well, my practice attempt failed.
Whoa.
My practice attempt failed, and that was it. I had that realization moment.
Yeah, but what did you do? Did you take pills or what?
No. So I was gonna use a rope. I was gonna sort of hang myself. So, and I know it's a funny podcast. And we're gonna make jokes and we're gonna go lighthearted. But I think in light of current events, let's just have a serious discussion about this, because what happens when someone you love is depressed, and they always make the statement and say, check in on your friends. Check in on people that are depressed.
Yeah.
But that doesn't help. You can't check in and ask, are you okay? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Sometimes you just need people to be there for you. So
here's the thing, right? And I know this for a fact. Checking on somebody, that's not enough, honestly speaking, because first of all, these people are going to lie to begin with. Just calling on them, hey, are you okay? Even if they're not okay, they'll just say that they are. You get me? And that's not helping the situation. Speaking is not in their DNA. They are not encrypted like that. So you checking up, it's not helping at all. Better visit them and try not to speak about it, because it's not going to happen. Just be there, as he is saying. Be there. Do whatever you guys feel like doing. If it's playing games with your guy, play games with your gent. If you feel like taking the boy out, I remember that was the peak of my distress. I was the peak. My late brother tried to drive with me to just, ease my head as I can regroup. But it was too much already. It had gotten to the point of eruption now, right? I would just zone out, bro, in the middle of us having conversations. I'll just literally zone out and think about what is happening in my life. So speaking, trust me, it's not helping. But being there with this person and just making them feel like they are cared for, at that point, it's just like making sure this person is cared for. It's acts of service. I feel like we need to talk also about the love language on gents on our next segment, right? Acts of service, man. Bring your gent some bottle. If not, just try to bring something that they like eating. Just crowd them so much. Just be invasive. Invade their space. Show up one day and just say, yo, let's go buy some meat. Should just show up. Make them ease up. Make them ease up. Because that is going to help them to kind of realize that, amen, I am comfortable now enough to be vocal about what is actually going on inside me that no one else sees, because you are constantly invading his space. So act of service. I feel like we will need to get to have a conversation regarding the love languages for gents, because this is about gents, honestly speaking. So yeah, let's just continue playing.
my advice to anyone, if you think that you've got a friend that's struggling, hit them up and be like, yo, can I come over and watch a movie? We don't have to talk. Can I come over? My stove's not working. Can I just cook dinner at your house and we don't have to talk, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't have that. I just thought about ending my life.
Yeah.
But I'm this happy guy on radio. I'm this incredible, funny, malume pompo, malume tivoli on radio, but I get home and I just want to end it all.
Yeah.
And I think the saddest part is when you start, once you've decided how you're going to do it, you start looking for where you're going to do it and who's going to find you. Like when you start thinking about writing a note,
Premeditating
doing whatever.
about
So
it.
I kind of, for a month or so, walked around my house looking for a place to hang from, right? I was like, is that strong enough?
Oh my God.
Is that not? And it is funny, but like I got to the point where I bought the rope and I was like, I'm gonna do this. And I went into the garage, right? By the way, this failed attempt cost me 11,000 rand.
You broke the garage door.
Because I walked in, you know the electric garage, right? You know the big wooden electric garage?
Yeah.
You know the steel thing
Oh, yes.
with the machine, when you press the button, it goes up. I thought I can loop the rope around that thing. And then I thought, okay, well, let me just check if it can hold my weight. So from the ladder, I just jumped off holding it, and I looped the entire garage thing. Like, I had to buy a new garage door. Like, it completely pulled down. And in that moment, I sat and cried for maybe 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I just sat on that floor with my broken garage door around me, and I just sobbed.
It's amazing. It's amazing how things are actually. You start by premeditating it. You start planning. You start trying to see what would work, so that as when you execute the plan, it actually becomes a solid and a legit thing, right? And no one knows about it. No one knows about it. From this point, you start writing letters. From this point, you start writing letters. You start acting weird to people because you know what you have got going on in your head. Now you start calling on people. If you apologize, you apologize. Just like what Ricky Rick did. So, as Pretty Ugly puts it, he said Ricky Rick started calling him and acting weird, but he didn't know that something was up. Started, calling and apologizing just, for no reason, right? And then the following days, he hung himself. So it's stuff like those that actually take place before one initiates the plan that they have had in their heads for a very long time. So, in a nutshell, man, let's just check out on each other. Everyone, my biggest wish is for everyone to kind of participate in this pandemic, because it is a pandemic, and if anyone has ways, man, to helping, give out a helping, stretch it out because you are saving a life, and that you will be forever be honored for. Yep, you might not get the recognition that you deserve, obviously, from people around you, but there is a higher recognition that you will be getting of life. Anyway, like I said, I just wanted to keep it short. There will be more of these, obviously. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Hit the sub button, the notification bell as well, so as you get notified next time.